we are going to see two things which are going to be very important for the evidence of this week, ¿ok? Entonces vamos a explicar algo que es muy clave para la evidencia que ustedes van a tener en esta semana, right? So that's why the main objective of this video conference is to provide the students with pointers about how to construct sentences. Why how to construct sentences? En la evidencia que vas a presentar esta semana, vas a tener que construir oraciones y elaborar párrafos en inglés. That's why tonight I am going to let you know how to construct the sentences, and besides that, we are going to do some reading, or I am going to show you some reading tips in order how to get the main ideas and to subtract the most important information in a text, in an article. Because this week you are going to read an article. Esa es la tarea que tienen para esta semana. Van a tener que leer un artículo sobre negocios, and based on that article, you are going to answer a workshop, ¿ok? Entonces, con base en ese artículo que vas a leer esta semana, vas a tener que resolver un taller. In that workshop, you have to build up sentences, and besides that, to build up paragraphs. That's why we are going to see what are the type of sentences, what are the structure of the sentences, and some tips about how to get the main ideas in an article, okay? That's what we are going to do tonight. Entonces vamos a ver cómo vamos a elaborar las oraciones y luego vamos a ver algunos tips de cómo extraer las ideas principales de un texto. Okay? Is clear what we are going to do tonight? I hope so. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, let me know after the presentation. I don't know if you have any questions so far. In order to start, do you have questions? Here on the chat, I see that here you say, teacher, I have a question. David Felipe Gonzalez, what question do you have?
Teacher?
Yes, what is your question? David? Felipe? What the question?
Teacher. In the
Sí,
evidence of CV, I had it warned. In the correction, has not yet been written for me, teacher.
I haven't written the feedback and the second mark. No te he escrito con base en la segundo intento que hiciste. No te he escrito la retroalimentación y la nota. Es lo que tú me estás preguntando,
Sí,
¿cierto?
señora.
Don't worry. Tonight and tomorrow morning, I am going to be dedicated to do that, okay?
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Don't worry, yes. A más tardar mañana estoy ya revisando la
sí, teacher. Yo te entendí en inglés.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you for you, teacher.
Sometimes I am confused if you understand or you don't understand very well. But
okay, no problem.
Congratulations, David, because you understand and you are using English, and it's not necessary to translate every single word in order to understand. Very good. So we are going to start right now. We are going to start with what are the main parts or the kind of the sentences, how to build up a sentence. Remember that in English and in Spanish, there are three types of sentences: simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. The simple sentence has one subject and one predicate. Like, for example, this is a simple sentence. One subject, we went, the verb, to San Juan yesterday. This to San Juan yesterday is the predicate. The subject is we, and the main verb is went. This is an example of a simple sentence. always that you are going to create a simple sentence, do not forget that these are the main parts of the sentence. Please think about if your sentence has a subject, if your sentence has a verb, and also if there is a predicate. Sometimes you write sentences and the sentences are not very clear. Why are not the sentence clear? Because it doesn't have a clear subject, or maybe it's a sentence, but the sentence is without the verb. The most important part in a sentence is the verb, and the verb is conjugated in the tense that you want to express your ideas. If your idea, your opinion is in present, the verb is in present with the s or es if it's in the third person singular. If your sentence is in future, remember that for future sentences, you use will or be going to if you are going to express something in the future. If you are going to use the past tense, remember the conjugation in past tense if the verb is regular or the verb is irregular. Okay? And here, here you have the parts of the simple sentence. So I really recommend you, I want to recommend you, en esta segunda evidencia, en la evidencia que vas a presentar en esta semana, en este taller, vas a tener que escribir oraciones. Entonces, por favor, asegúrate, your sentence have a subject. The subject can be the personal pronoun I, we, he, she, it, they, or any other subject, Peter, the business, the company, the multinational company, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the businesswoman, the market, okay? But always there is a subject. Besides that, the most important part in the sentence is the verb. So don't forget that your sentence after the subject has a verb. And also there is one complement or predicate that is the second part of the sentence, where you are going to express where, when, how, what time, maybe, is the complement of the sentence. Compound sentences. What are the compound sentences? Is the sentence that has more than one part that can stand alone. So, are two sentences and they are joined with a conjunction or an adverb or a punctuation mark like a semicolon. There are two independent sentences, but they are connected by, as I told you, by a coordinating conjunction, by an adverb or a semicolon. Compound sentences are, in Spanish, frases compuestas. For example, we went to San Juan, comma, and the conjunction and that means addition, but we went to San Juan and most of us danced all night. In this example, you have a compound sentence. There is one sentence, subject, verb, and complement. We went to San Juan. And there is another sentence, most of us dance all night. Most of us is the subject. Dance is in past tense too. All night is the complement. Here, we went to San Juan is a prepositional complement of place because it says to San Juan. San Juan is a place. In the second refers to the time, no? We went to San Juan and most of us danced all night. In the second sentence, the subject is most of us. The verb in past, dance all night. This is another type of sentence, compound sentences. And here, this is the part, no? In the first sentence, there is a subject, there is a verb, a prepositional phrase, and also there is a coordinating conjunction, which is and again, another subject, most of us dance all night. So, be careful when you are going to write your sentence. Be sure, are you going to create a simple sentence? Are you going to create a compound sentence? Even if your sentence is compound, aun si su oración es compuesta, don't forget that there are subjects for the first sentence and another subject for the second sentence. Also, there are two verbs. One verb for the first sentence, in this example, went. One verb for the second sentence, in this time, is dance. And also, there are complements or predicates for both sentences. Compound sentences. Another example. My parents caught a severe cold. Consequently, they had to cancel their vacation. As you can see here, you have two sentences. The first one is, my parents caught a severe cold. My parents caught, quiere decir, les dio un resfriado muy severo, muy terrible. Consequently, they had, second part of the sentence, the subject is they, had past tense, to cancel their vacation. So, in this first sentence, there is one linking word, one conjunction or conjunctive adverb, which is consequently. In this second sentence, some people like basketball, semicolon. Semicolon is the semicolon, remember what is semicolon here, punto y comma. In this semicolon, also there is another sentence after that. So the semicolon separate the sentence number one to the sentence number two. Others is the subject. Prefer is the verb basketball. Some people like basketball. Sentence number one. Sentence number two. Others prefer baseball. Okay, this is a compound sentence. Now we have complex sentences. A complex sentences has at least two parts. One that can stand alone and another one that cannot. It's a sentence that depends on the other. That is the complex sentence. The part that cannot stand alone is linked to the rest of the sentence by a subordinating conjunction. So, these complex sentences es lo que llamamos las oraciones como derivadas, que una depende de la otra en español. En este tipo de oraciones, cuando no son oraciones compuestas que cada una tiene su significado independiente, sino que las oraciones complejas son las que una depende de la otra, they are connected by a subordinating conjunction. Entonces, ahí ya no se unen con un signo de puntuación, con una conjunción, sino con una conjunción subordinada. For example, since my boyfriend and I wanted to have fun, we went to San Juan yesterday. What is the complex sentence? The complex sentence is the first one. Since my boyfriend and I wanted to have fun. Mire, debido a esto, the main sentence is, we went to San Juan yesterday. We went to San Juan yesterday es la oración principal. We went to San Juan yesterday. And the subordinated sentence, la oración que queda subordinada y que está dependiendo de esa oración principal, is, since my boyfriend and I wanted to have fun. Okay? So, Here you have examples of complex sentences. Remember what is a compound sentence, and remember what is a simple sentence. It's very because como vamos a escribir cómo vamos a producir y escribir esas oraciones. ¿Ok? Entonces, vamos a tener en cuenta qué es lo que vamos a escribir y cómo vamos a escribir en ese taller que vamos a hacer en esta semana. Es importante escribir oraciones con sentido completo. Para escribir esas oraciones con sentido completo, por favor, siga la estructura que estamos mencionando acá. Y tú como escritor tienes que tener en cuenta qué tipo de oración es la que vas a escribir, la que vas a redactar. A simple sentence, a compound sentence, or you are going to create a complex sentence, okay? Here, we have complex sentence. The subordinated conjunction is since. We wanted to have fun is part of the sentence that cannot stand alone. Es la oración subordinada que está dependiendo o está aclarando to the main sentence, which is, we went to San Juan yesterday. We went to San Juan yesterday is the main sentence. And also you can change the order. Se puede cambiar el orden y no pierde el sentido. We went to San Juan yesterday since we wanted to have fun. Or since we wanted to have fun, we went to San Juan yesterday, okay? So those are complex sentences. Compound and complex sentence. This type of sentence has more than one part that can stand alone, and at least one that cannot, okay? In this type of sentence, there is one part or more than one part that can stand alone, and the other that depends on the main sentence. So remember the complex sentence. What is the difference with compound sentence? Cuando tenemos una frase compuesta, hay dos oraciones, cada una funciona, tiene significado, tiene sentido por separado. Si tú lees la primera y la segunda, las dos tienen sentido y están unidas simplemente con un signo de puntuación, semicolon, o con una conjunción, but, and, also, or the complex sentence is when one depends on the other. Para que tenga sentido, esa oración compleja o subordinada depende de una principal. Notice how the different conjunctions, like the different parts of this sentence. In these examples, since we wanted to have fun, my boyfriend and I went to San Juan yesterday. And we danced all night. Here in this example, you have a compound sentence and you have in the first one, since we wanted to have fun, is the complex sentence because depends on this first one. My boyfriend and I went to San Juan yesterday. And what is the complement, the compound sentence? And we danced all night. So in this example, in this construction, you have a very brief summary about a situation. Aquí ya estamos teniendo como el resumen de una situación, de un evento, de un hecho. Y para hacer ese resumen estamos utilizando oración compleja o subordinada y estamos utilizando oración compuesta. What is the complex sentence or subordinated sentence? Since we want to have fun. And the main sentence is, my boyfriend and I went to San Juan yesterday. And the complement, the compound sentence y la oración compuesta, and we dance all night. So in this construction, you have complex and compound sentences. Y cada una de ellas hace parte de una oración simple, ¿no? De simple sentence. ¿Cuál es la oración simple? We dance all night. Eso es simplemente sujeto, verbo, complemento. We dance all night. And here, my boyfriend and I went to San Juan yesterday. Is a simple sentence. También es una oración simple que se une con esta segunda parte a través del conector and y entonces ya me quedó una oración compleja. Una oración compuesta. My boyfriend and I went to San Juan yesterday and we danced all night. Pero, ¿cuál es la frase subordinada que la hace también compleja? Since we wanted to have fun. Okay? So, subordinated sentence with the conjunction. What is the conjunction? Since. We wanted to have fun. That is the part that cannot stand alone. Si tú revisas simplemente la oración, since we wanted to have fun, eso no tendría sentido, ¿no? Porque le hace falta algo. Since we wanted to have fun, ¿y qué hay con eso? Necesita de la otra parte para que tenga sentido. Since we wanted to have fun, my boyfriend and I went to San Juan. And the other, the coordinated conjunction and, con ese and, está agregando la información. We wanted to have fun, okay? Very important. When you are going to write, to organize your ideas. Entonces, vamos a hacer ese ejercicio de cómo organizar nuestras ideas en una forma clara, ¿no? Una forma bastante clara en el discurso que estamos produciendo y que vamos a producir a través de la evidencia de esta semana, ¿ok? That is very important that you keep on mind. So far, hasta el momento, ¿entendiste las partes de la oración? Las clases de oración que tú vas a producir y que puedes producir para el taller de esta semana cuando tengas que expresar ideas principales, cuando tengas que expresar el resumen, porque vas a tener que hacer el resumen, un párrafo que va a resumir las ideas principales de unos párrafos del texto, de un artículo que vas a leer. Y entonces, lo que yo les pido encarecidamente es que organicen bien sus ideas, o hilen one idea with another idea, with the connectors, with the conjunctions. What are the conjunctions? And, but, also. Okay? Since. For. Okay? And there are also some connectors or linking words. Moreover, besides, also, furthermore. All right? So this is something that you are going to keep in mind in order to organize your text. And now, after this, we are going to do some exercises. We are going to do some exercises in order to understand, and you are going to tell me what are the complete sentences and what are the correct sentence in this activity, okay? So I am going to listen to you. In this exercise, there are 3 sentences. What is the correct sentence? O sea, ¿cuál es la oración que tiene sentido completo? Because there is a subject, there is a verb, and there is a complement. And the verb is conjugated in the appropriate tense. You have here 3 options, A, B, and C. Max does play the guitar on Mondays. Max plays guitar on Mondays. And Max plays guitar on Mondays. What do you think is the correct sentence? A, B, or C? If remember, if you don't want to use your microphone, use the chat and write the letter. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? Is the sentence A, is the sentence B, or is the sentence D? It's time to participate. Okay, Mabel Espinel says C. Mabel Espinel has C. I am going to show you again the sentences. Look at the sentences. Max does play the guitar on Mondays. Max plays guitar on Mondays. Max plays guitar on Mondays. What is
B.
the appropriate sentence? Very good. The appropriate sentence is B. What is B? Right after present tense, no? But is B. Yes, B is the appropriate sentence. Why B is the appropriate sentence? ¿Por qué la oración correcta es la B? Number one, si vamos a analizar las tres oraciones tienen el sujeto, ¿no? Tienen el verbo y tienen el complemento, que es lo que ustedes, la estructura que van a seguir, les recuerdo e insisto, para el taller de esta semana. Max, subject, complement. El complemento, el verbo, después del sujeto sigue el verbo. Tenemos un auxiliar das que no lo necesitamos. ¿Por qué? Porque no está negando ni está preguntando. La oración está afirmativa. Entonces, este das no nos sirve. Play the guitar on Mondays. Muy bien, sigue un verbo, pero el verbo debería estar conjugado en el tiempo apropiado. Es presente, es pasado, es futuro. Esa es otra recomendación que les doy para cuando haga su taller. Cuando usted esté escribiendo la oración principal, piense en qué tiempo va a escribir esa oración principal. Is present, is past, or is future, or is the present perfect. Y por favor, conjugue apropiadamente el verbo. Here, in the letter A, is incorrect. Why? Because there is an auxiliar, does, but the auxiliar is not necessary because it's not negative, it's not a question. And on the other hand, the verb is not conjugated. Ese verbo no está conjugado. Okay, B, Max plays guitars on Mondays. Yes, that is the appropriate. Subject, Max. The verb plays and is conjugated in present tense, third person singular. Guitar on Mondays. And in the letter C, that is not appropriate because has the subject Max, but the verb is not conjugated. Ahí no sabemos, dices jugar, pero no sabemos si juega, jugó, jugará. ¿Cuál es el tiempo de este verbo? Si tenemos tercera persona, Max, the verb is it with S or ES. En este caso tendría S. Max plays guitar on Mondays. Okay? The correct sentence is B. Now, let's continue. Can you please tell me what is the correct sentence? Lisa don't listen to music in the afternoon. Lisa doesn't listen to music in the afternoon. Lisa doesn't listen to music in the afternoon. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? Remember to use the chat if you want to participate. If you don't want to use your microphone, you can use the chat. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? A, B, or C?
A C.
Very good. And here, lady, very good. Lady says, is C. Very good, lady. The answer is C. Very good. The answer is C. And remember, we are going to analyze why the answer is C. Because this is a negative sentence. Lisa don't listen. Remember that do is now for the third person singular. Do is for they do, they don't, we don't, I don't. For the third person here, Lisa doesn't listens, is not necessary the conjugation of the verb listens, porque ya tú tienes el auxiliar doesn't. Entonces, esa S de listens te está sobrando, no se necesita. And the appropriate is Lisa doesn't listen to music in the afternoon, no? Remember, is in present, is the third person, entonces como es tercera persona Lisa, entonces tiene que tener el doesn't listen to music in the afternoon, okay? Very good. And now let's continue with the next one. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? Paula always dances ballet at the weekend. Paula dances ballet always at the weekend. Or C, Paula always dances ballet at the weekend. What do you think is the appropriate one? A, B, or C? What do you think? Remember that you can use the chat in order to participate. What do you think is the appropriate answer? A, B, or C? I am going to show you again the sentences. Paula always dances ballet at the weekend. Paula dances ballet always at the weekend. And Paula always danced ballet at the weekend. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? A, B, or C?
Sí, teacher.
But what happened with the third person singular, the conjugation of the verb? If you say C, Paula danced, but dance is conjugate. Very good. The appropriate answer is A. Paula always dances ballet at the weekend. And why? Because it's in present tense. The sentence is in present tense. There is one adverb of frequency that shows the routine. Paula always dances. The verb is conjugated in present third person singular with S. And ballet at the weekend. Remember, there is one subject, Paula. If you want to use an adverb of frequency, like always, sometimes, usually, often, frequently, the adverb of frequency is before the verb. Siempre que tengamos ese adverbio de frecuencia, sometimes, rarely, often, more, frequently, always. Remember, the adverb of frequency is before the verb. There is one exception. The exception is the verb to be. You say you are always in class. You are always. But you always attend to class. Si el verbo es diferente al verbo to be, ese adverbio de frecuencia va a ir antes. Paula always dances ballet at the weekend. That is the appropriate sentence. And you have a subject, remember, the subject, the verb, and the complement. Por favor, tenga en cuenta y tome esa estructura allá dentro de sus apuntes para que cuando vaya a escribir las oraciones de resumen y las oraciones principales, siga la estructura de la pregunta, ¿ok? Very good. And then, and remember, the structure of the sentence in Spanish is very similar to English, or the structure of the sentence in English is similar to Spanish, ¿no? Nosotros en el español también contemplamos esa estructura de la oración. Sujeto, verbo, predicado. Sofía reads comic books on Saturdays. Sofía read comic books on Saturdays. Or Sofía does read comic books on Saturdays. What do you think is the appropriate sentence? What is the correct sentence?
Is A, teacher?
Yes, that's right. That's the appropriate answer. The answer is A. Sophia reads, the subject, Sophia, the verb conjugated in the present tense with S because it's the third person singular. Comic books on Saturdays. And B is incorrect. Why? Because the verb is not conjugated, because there is no est. Les recuerdo que para el presente, las terceras personas, he, she, it. Sophia, the machine, the economy, the society. The verb is with S for the present tense. And here in C, Sophia does read comic books on Saturdays. Remember that this thus is not necessary. Thus is used in the present tense only for negative sentences. So the appropriate is Sophia doesn't read. Sophia doesn't read comic books on Saturdays, okay? That is different because thus is for negative sentences in the present and for questions. And let's go on to the last sentence. What is the correct one? A, my dog never runs in the park at night. Or B, my dog never runs in the park at night. Or C, my dog thus never run in the park at night. What do you think is the appropriate answer? Remember, if you have, you can participate.
Is A, teacher?
Very good. The appropriate one, very good. Also here in the chat, some of you participated and you say the appropriate answer is A. Very good. The appropriate is A. Very good. My dog never runs. Very good. So, and now we are going to another exercise. In this other exercise, what we are going to do is to classify. Here we are in the forest. Estamos como en la selva. We are going to classify the sentences. Based on the explanation, we are going to classify the sentences into simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. Remember, for the students that joined a little late, para quienes han ingresado un poco tarde, simple sentences. What is the simple sentence? The subject, the verb, and the complement or predicate. No tiene más. Compound sentences. There are two sentences and they are joined with a conjunction or with a semicolon. Ellas están unidas con una conjunción o están unidas con un signo de puntuación como un punto y coma. And complex sentences are subordinate sentences. Son las que dependen una de la otra para poder tener un sentido completo. Y ellas no se unen simplemente con una conjunción, sino es con una subordinate conjunction. Entonces, la unión se hace es con una conjunción subordinada que está demostrando que está dependiendo, su significado depende de la oración principal. ¿Ok? So, we are going to classify the sentences. Y vamos a analizar cómo estas oraciones están bien elaboradas. Así como ustedes van a elaborar las oraciones muy bien en el taller de esta semana. Ok, let's start with the first one. Who wants to read the first sentence and let me know? Is a simple, is a compound, or is a complex sentence? Who wants to read the first one? A volunteer? Is there a volunteer? Or not? Maybe Cruz Andrés, Daniela Peña, David Lopez, or maybe Diana, Elkin. There are many students in this class tonight. Or Mayra, Magnolia. Who wants to read the sentence number 1 and say, the sentence is simple, compound, or complex? Who wants to try it? ¿Quién quiere intentarlo? Sentence number 1. We went to the store and we bought again. Is that a simple sentence, a compound sentence, or a complex sentence? Who wants to try?
Simple sentence.
En esta oración, we went to the store, ahí va una oración, mire ahí, sujeto, verbo, predicado. We went to the store. Y mire que hay otra. We bought again. Sujeto, verbo y predicado. Is a simple sentence or is a compound sentence? Or a complex sentence?
Es compound sentence.
Complex.
Very good. Is a compound sentence. Es una frase compuesta. Muy bien. Y está unida dos oraciones simples que se unen con una coma y con una conjunción. Coma and. We bought again. Es pilas ahí. Esa sería una oración compuesta. Vaya tomando nota ya. ¿Cómo puede usted hacer las oraciones compuestas? Dos oraciones simples y las puede unir con una coma o las puedes unir con un punto y coma, semicolon y con una conjunción. At, but, nor, for. Okay? Very good. Let's continue with the next one. Because she was really tired, she fell asleep in the car. Because she was really tired, she fell asleep in the car. Is that a simple sentence or is a complex sentence?
Complex sentence.
Very good. Very good. Because once depends on the other. Como usted puede ver, because she was really tired, si usted la lee solita, eso no tiene sentido. Ella está dependiendo de la oración principal para poder tener sentido. Because she was really tired, she fell asleep in the car. She fell asleep, que si se quedó dormida. Because she was really tired. Okay? Very good. You are doing a very good interpretation and good analysis. Let's continue with the next sentence. We are going on vacation next month. We are going on vacation next month. Is a simple sentence, is a compound, or a complex?
Simple sentence. Teacher?
Simple. Very good. It's a simple sentence because there is subject, verb, are going, and the complement, and no more. On vacation next month. Esta es una oración simple. Tiene simplemente el sujeto, el verbo y el complemento. Y ya, no hay una conjunción que nos esté uniendo con otra, ni hay una conjunción subordinada, ¿no? Que esté dependiendo de la otra. Very good. Let's continue with the next one. I played a game on my phone while we were driving to the beach. What kind of sentences are there? Are they? Is this one? I played a game on my phone while we were driving to the beach. What kind of sentence is that?
Compound.
Complex.
Compound. Very good. It's a compound sentence. Hay dos oraciones, cada una tiene su sentido completo, solamente está unida con un conector o una conjunción, en este caso es while. I played a game on my phone, eso tiene sentido. And the other one, we were driving to the beach. I played a game on my phone, we were driving to the beach. There are two sentences and they are joined with while. Okay, very good. Now, my cat is playing with a ball of yarn. My
simple complex
sentence.
sentence.
is a simple sentence, very good. ¿Por qué es una oración simple? Simplemente tiene el sujeto, my cat, is playing the verb and the complement with a ball of yarn. Very good. You understand very well. Si lo entienden muy bien, van a poder producirlo muy bien y las van a poder escribir muy bien, porque lo que se evidencia, lo que se observa, lo que se practica, se lleva muy bien a la práctica. Very good. The next one. I baked a cake yesterday. Is simple, is compound, or is complex?
A simple sentence.
Es simple.
Very good. It's a simple sentence. Subject, verb, and complement. I baked a cake yesterday. Very good. Let's continue with the next one. He's on my soccer team. He's on my soccer team.
Complex.
Okay. Very good. Simple sentence. He, subject, is verb, on my soccer team, complement. Very good. It's a simple sentence. Logan and Ellie have been friends for many years. Logan and Ellie have been friends, present perfect, for many years. The sentence is
Complex sentence.
Simple.
complex. ¿Dónde está?
Simple.
Simple, very good.
Simple sentence.
The subject, el sujeto, lo que pasa es que tiene un sujeto que es compuesto, ¿no? De dos personas. Logan and Ellie, that is the subject. Have been is the verb. Friends for many years, very good. And this is a simple sentence. Subject, verb, and complement, and that's it, no more. When I get home from school, I like to take a nap. When I get home from school, I like to take a nap. Remember, take a nap es un descanso, ¿no? La siesta. I like to take a nap. What kind of sentence is that? Is a compound or is a complex?
Es compound sentence.
What is the connector that is joining the sentence 1 and the sentence 2? Hay un conector ahí que nos... is a complex, porque la primera parte, when I get from school, cuando llegue a casa, ¿qué va a pasar? I like to take a nap. When is a subordinate. Entonces, usted puede empezar, mire, una oración con when. Cuando pasa tal cosa, cuando sucede tal cosa, pero agréguele algo, ¿no? When I get home from school, I like to take a nap. Y queda la oración compleja o subordinada. Let's go on with the next one. He played basketball every day. So he got really good at the game. He played basketball every day. So he got really good at the game.
Compound sentence.
Compound sentence.
Compound sentence, very good. He played basketball every day. The connector or the conjunction is so. So, quiere decir Por lo tanto, is the conjunction. So, the second sentence, he got really good at the game. There are two sentences. He played basketball every day. Eso tiene sentido. Y no necesita de más para expresar el sentido completo. Pero se le agrega otra oración para hacerla compuesta. So, he got really good at the game. Okay? Let's continue. We can go to the movie or we can go bowling. What do you think? Is compound or is complex?
Compound is compound.
Very good. And is joined with the conjunction or, ¿no? Mira, ahí tiene la conjunción o lo uno o lo otro. We can go to the movies or we can go bowling. Remember to take notes about what are the conjunctions and, while, so, or. Para unir una oración compuesta, vaya tomando nota. ¿Cuáles son esas conjunciones que nos sirven para unir dos oraciones? And, while, so, or. Continue. Next one. I got an 8 on my test because I studied for it last night. I got
Complete sentence.
Complex
an 8
sentence.
on test.
Complete.
Very good. It's a complex because one depends on the other. Una está dependiendo de la otra. Por eso es lo que la hace compleja o subordinada. I got an A on the test because I studied for the last night. Very good. Next one. My sister rode her bike to school, but I took the bus.
Complete
Is
sentence.
a compound sentence?
Is compound.
Very compound, very good. My sister rode her bike to school. One sentence. Y se une con la conjunción de para contrastar, but I took the bus. So remember the conjunction or, and, so, but. Por favor, tome nota de esas conjunciones que puedes utilizar para unir dos ideas. And, or, so, while, but, okay? And let's go on with the next one. After I came home, I put the groceries away.
Complete sentence, teacher.
Está complex.
teacher.
After I came home, yes, after I came home, esa depende de la otra. I put the groceries away. Very good. And now we are going to the last one. The last one. I like to eat pizza, but I only eat cheese pizza. I like to eat
Complex
pizza.
sentence.
Is a
Complete
complex.
sentence, teacher.
Porque si tú dices esa oración, I only eat cheese pizza, pues está dependiendo de la principal. ¿Y por qué dices I only eat cheese pizza? I like to eat pizza. Porque tenemos esta parte. I like to eat pizza, but I only eat cheese pizza. Okay? So, remember, what are the structure of the sentences? When you are going to create, cuando vayas a crear un párrafo o una idea principal, por favor, recuerda que hay estos tres tipos de oraciones. Recuerda que los debes separar con puntos, comas, ¿ok? Period, comas, semicolon. Besides that, remember that there are some linking words. Moreover, besides, furthermore, also, On the other hand, so, because, and those linking words, you need to use it in order to write your sentences or to write paragraphs. Cuando vamos a redactar una oración o un párrafo, eso no es un poco de ideas y no llevan el signo de puntuación y no llevan los conectores, no hay conjunciones, but, also, and, or, ¿ok? Debe haber en la redacción de un texto estas estructuras y debe utilizarse el signo de puntuación como también debe utilizarse los conectores, ¿ok? Conjunciones, etc. Si la oración es sola o está aislada, pues simplemente se considera como una oración simple y ya. Se pueden separar las oraciones simple sentences, las puede separar with commas, or also you can separate them with semicolon or with one conjunction or one linking word. Las oraciones simples se pueden separar o simplemente con comas y al final and y agrega una última idea. Pero les recuerdo, si son compound sentences, utilice la conjunción and, but, or. If is a complete sentence, you don't need the linking words, maybe. You don't need the punctuation. What you need is the subordinate conjunctions. ¿Cuáles fueron las oraciones acá? Conjunciones subordinadas que se utilizaron para empezar la oración y unirla con una oración principal. Because, when, after, okay? Or also because, remember, because is when, after, or since. Remember that also you can say since. Desde que pasa tal cosa, okay? You can use since. And now we are going to the last part of our class today. And the last part consists on some tips that you need to use for reading comprehension. Tenemos que también tener, ustedes se van a enfrentar esta semana a un texto que tiene aproximadamente unas 3 o 4 páginas. Maybe you are going to feel a little stressed. Tal vez te vas a sentir un poco estresado al ver toda esa lectura que debes hacer. Y que cómo vas a sacar las ideas principales. Y que cómo vas a hacer el resumen del texto. It's important to have these tips, to follow these tips. Entonces, sigamos los siguientes tips. Number 1, remember, why do we read? Is just for fun or is with a connection to your studies? Something related to your program is something like a task, is an assignment. The type of article that you are going to read for this evidence is an assignment. It's an academic reading. So the first thing that you have to think is that it's not reading for fun. No vamos a hacer una lectura por diversión o porque tú la has escogido. It's an assignment. Es una tarea que te va a ser asignada. Assignment is a task that you are going to complete. So it's not for fun, it's academic. Lo que vas a hacer es una lectura académica, no es por diversión. Remember, a house without books is like a room without windows, no? The comparison is very appropriate. Sometimes you are a little lazy for reading, and the article that you are going to read is a little complex because it's not about your personal life, it's not about your hobbies, it's not about your daily routine, it's not about your family, Maybe the article that you are going to read this week is not according to your likes. Maybe that article is according to your professional life because it's very academic. So, read it is thinking. Recuerda que la lectura es de pensamiento. The purpose of reading is understanding, but you cannot pretend to understand every single word. Si tú pretendes leer y entender cada palabra, te vas a estresar y no vas a lograr el sentido y el objetivo que se propone. There are some reading techniques. The reading techniques are skimming and scanning are the most important techniques that you are going to use. Intensive reading and extensive reading. Skimming and scanning. What is skimming and scanning? Those are key reading skills. Estas son habilidades claves que vas a tener cuando tú cojas el texto. Use skimming and scanning strategies when doing comprehension activities. What is the skimming? Skimming es cuando tú llegas y vas a profundizar más, como estamos haciendo ahí. Profundizar más en el producto, en la lectura. Ese es un skimming, donde vas a entrar a indagar por cosas más específicas, ¿no? And scanning es cuando llegamos y escaneamos, el mismo scanning lo dice, escaneamos cosas generales. Skimming is a reading technique. Es como un vistazo que tú vas a echar, pero no vas a pretender ponerte a traducir palabra por palabra, porque te vas a gastar 2-3 días y no vas a lograr el objetivo. Reading technique that is rapidly over the read, that it means less time, and with the skimming, you are going to get the main ideas and a general overview, a general over impression about the text and how it is organized. Entonces, a través del skimming es que podemos obtener las ideas principales. This is the way. Mire, observe cómo va a ser y sus ojos, cómo deben llevar el vistazo de toda la lectura que vas a hacer. No es ponerte, ya lo dije, palabra por palabra. Tú llegas y coges la primera línea y rápidamente le pasas un vistazo hacia el final para ver simplemente de qué trata, cuál es el vocabulario o las expresiones que tú conoces a simple vista. Entonces no es I, like, to, be, and, no. You are going to do an skimming, que es revisar así en forma de una culebrilla el texto de qué trata. Is a general gist. Este gist significa vistazo. A general gist about the text. Y cuando tú estás haciendo ese general gist, the first one is the title. You are going to read the title of the article. Then you are going to read the subtitles of the article. Una vez lee el título, you understand what is the topic about. Y luego de que leas el título, échale un vistazo subtitles. ¿Cuáles son los subtítulos que se encuentran para ir clasificando las partes del texto? And also read the illustrations, are very important. Observe, analyze what are the pictures, the illustrations that the article have. Y relacione y téngase una idea un vistazo e imagínese esa imagen a qué está haciendo referencia. O de pronto el esquema, el diagrama. What is the diagram? What is the image connected to the title and subtitles of the text? Remember, it's very important to see in the article the author biography, the copyright, qué otras información tiene, qué se le agrega, tiene más bibliografía, textos. When you skim, remember that this material is not fiction. You require some time, concentration, in order to know and underline the words that you already know. Identifique el vocabulario que es conocido para ti como las palabras que son muy parecidas inglés-español. Because there are a lot of words that are cognates, a lot of words that are very similar to Spanish. Por ejemplo, si vamos a leer aquí nomás, miren, si vemos este texto, this material, non-fiction, amount to read, less time, already know it, any material skipped. Observe que tenemos más de 3 palabras acá que son muy similares al español. Material is the same, material. Fiction is the same, ficción. Very similar. And here you have also time. Time, pues tiempo. Observa que hay muchas palabras que son similares y en el artículo tú vas a ver, como es un artículo académico, vas a encontrar que hay muchas palabras similares entre el español y el inglés. Entonces, ahí, esas palabras que ya son similares, ¿para qué te estresas con ellas si tú ya las conoces? Entonces, más bien, ve y observa, haga un vistazo general y esos subtítulos que tú encuentras y principales, que te van a ayudar a sacar las ideas principales, subraya más bien el vocabulario desconocido y revísalo en el diccionario. For example, skip in this test, maybe for you the new word is skipped. Skip quiere decir sáltese, lo que tú ya conoces, el vocabulario que tú conoces, ¿para qué lo revisas? Ya lo sabes. Más bien, fija la mirada en vocabulario desconocido o palabras que tú nunca has visto, que no son similares al español. There is a pre-reading. Entonces, lo primero que vas a hacer cuando tengas ese artículo es observar titles and subtitles. Vas a observar el título, de qué trata el artículo. Subtitles, el subtítulo. Look at the pictures and the diagrams. Observa, echa un vistazo a esas figuras, a ese diagrama y relaciónalo sobre qué puede tratar ese diagrama y qué tan importante puede ser en el texto. This is a simple previewing accurate picture. ¿Qué estás haciendo ahí? Ya estás haciendo una prelectura, pre-reading. Estás ya revisando, previewing, what is the article about. And also the pictures can't imagine accurate pictures. Y te puedes hacer ya una mirada o una imagen clara de qué trata el texto. Reading is a quick reading gist. Read the first sentence. Lea la primera frase del párrafo and the last one. No es muchas veces necesario para entender de qué trata el texto ponerse a leer todo. Simplemente con que leas la primera frase y la última, ya tienes una idea de qué trata ese párrafo. This is a quick reading. Eso se llama una lectura rápida. And finally, reviewing. What is reviewing? Ahora sí, ya que has leído los títulos, los subtítulos y tienes has leído la primera frase y la última del párrafo, entonces ahora sí, review the new expressions and the new vocabulary. Okay? What do we skim? Mire, these are the examples of the kind of text that we skim. We skim articles from magazines. We skim the news on the newspaper. We skim a website, or maybe a recipe in order to prepare something, or maybe a bulletin board, or maybe a card in order to get the main idea, or a book. O también podemos, cuando estamos leyendo un libro, hacemos primero como una revisión de qué trata, ¿ok? The same happens with the article. ¿Qué hacemos? Cogemos el periódico y revisamos primera, segunda, tercera página, títulos, subtítulos y miramos qué es lo que nos interesa y con eso nos quedamos, ¿no? How to skim an article. Esto es lo que tú vas a hacer con ese artículo que vas a tener esta semana. Number 1, read the title. Number 2, check the introduction. La introducción siempre te dice de qué va a tratar todo el artículo. First paragraph, completely. Mire, con que leas el primer párrafo, más que suficiente. Subheadings, each one, the relationships with the subheadings. The first sentence and the last sentence in each remaining paragraph. Y de los otros párrafos que tú vas a tener en el artículo, lea la primera oración, como ya te dije, y la última. Por lo general, la primera oración es la que introduce el texto y la última es la que concluye. Entonces, con que tú tengas esa visión de esas dos ideas, ya te estás haciendo una comprensión del texto. Also, it's very important, clue words are palabras claves, ¿no? Clue words and also ask who, what. Proper nouns and usual words, mire, revise más bien el nuevo vocabulario. And capitalize adjectives, typographical cues like italics, underlined. Revisa si el artículo tiene algunos textos en letra itálica, es porque quiere resaltar algo. O si está resaltada, is bold, ¿no? Si está highlighted, si está resaltada es por algo la palabra o la frase. Underlined, si encuentra frases subrayadas es por algo, ¿ok? And also, read the final paragraph completely. So, what is the tip? Title, introduction, first paragraph, and final paragraph. Eso sí es lo que debes hacer obligatoriamente. First paragraph and final paragraph. Y ya los otros artículos, los otros párrafos que vas a encontrar en el artículo, leas los subtítulos, primera frase, and the last one. Okay? And the last sentence. What are the advantages of this skimming? Hacerlo así, number 1, save time. Also, you can get the main ideas, que eso es uno de los puntos que te pide el taller. Main ideas, te va a pedir las ideas principales de algunos párrafos. You are going to have a general overview. You are going to get more interesting and you are going to read 1,000 words a minute, okay? That is very important. And scanning is the general. What is scanning? Scanning is to see what is the article about. Es cuando simplemente le echamos un vistazo. Este artículo de qué tema será. It's a reading technique. It's very quick. Eyes over text. Covers great deal with materials. Also, you look for a specific information like names, dates, or reading the entire text. And also, you can answer questions. That is scanning. Entonces, cuando estamos haciendo un scanning del artículo, ya nos quedamos con ciertas partes del texto y ya vamos a resolver información específica o a resolver preguntas exactas de comprensión. ¿Ok? What do we scan? We scan newspapers, magazines, ticket. Por lo general un ticket nosotros los escaneamos bien para mirar la fecha, para mirar la silla, el lugar, okay? Recipes are scanned in order to see the ingredients, what is the process to prepare something. Also, you are scanning when you are watching your directory. You are scanning because you are looking for a specific information. And remember, while you are scanning, look at the table of the contents, the title page, the copyright date, the chapter headings, the index, illustrations, summaries, and so on. And remember, it's very important to keep in mind to search for information, to anticipate the information, to analyze the organization of the content, to also eyes run rapidly, to read the several lines, and to find centers or an entire sentence. And the conclusion, reading is an important skill. Skimming and scanning are used when reading all kinds of documents. We read for getting information, for pleasure, getting something important to study. Reading technique depends on the purpose that you are going to have. La técnica que tú vas a utilizar ahorita es esta de scanning and skimming con un propósito especial. That is to answer a workshop. Vas a responder un taller. It has several questions, several points. Skimming and scanning are for speed reading. And the way we skim is similar to the way that we scan. The most important difference is what do we do or what we read for. Remember that reading without reflecting is like eating without digesting. That's why after reading, you have to reflect and you have to ask questions by yourself about what you are going to do. I don't know if you have questions. No sé si tienen preguntas, más preguntas sobre cómo es o cuáles son las técnicas que vas a utilizar para el desarrollo del taller de esta semana. Entonces, en conclusión, primero que todo, vas a tener muy en cuenta cómo vas a elaborar las oraciones, porque te van a pedir que con base en el texto que vas a leer, debes elaborar ideas principales, debes sacar las ideas principales de un texto. Para sacar esas ideas principales, entonces vas a tener que elaborar oraciones simples, compuestas o complex sentences, como las que vimos esta noche. No olvide, por favor, que una oración sin sujeto o una oración sin verbo es sin sentido. Entonces, bien organizados cuando estemos sacando las ideas principales de que tu oración tiene el punto, tiene el sujeto, tiene el verbo, que utilizas los signos de puntuación, que utilizas las conjunciones y los conectores. Skimming y scanning. ¿Y para qué el skimming y el scanning? Para que tú entiendas muy bien en una forma rápida, sin tener que tender a la traducción de palabra por palabra, lo cual no es necesario, sino con la técnica que yo te di. Leemos títulos, subtítulos, first paragraph, last paragraph, y de los otros párrafos que tenemos, the first sentence and the last sentence. Y ahí vas a tener que hacer con todo eso ya una ojeada de todo el artículo, vas a hacer un resumen. Para hacer ese resumen sobre de qué trata ese artículo, no nos vamos a volver a poner a escribir todo el artículo, no, es just one paragraph, maximum 300 words. Entonces es un párrafo donde le vamos a escribir una introducción de qué trata el artículo, unas ideas secundarias que van a soportar la idea principal y luego una conclusión que puede ser tu punto de vista o una conclusión sobre el artículo que tú vas a leer. Do you have questions about the assignment about the explanation that I did tonight? Do you have questions? Tenemos preguntas, inquietudes, que está bastante enfocada la clase de esta noche a lo que tú vas a hacer con la evidencia de esta semana. Do you have questions or do you need an extra explanation? If you don't have questions, so thank you so much for the participation tonight, and I hope that you keep on mind, espero que tenga en cuenta, the instructions, the sentences, the keys, the tips that I gave you tonight in order to prepare your workshop for this week. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you. Have a good night.